Hey, what is going on, guys? I'm Tom, back with another how-to bread instruction. And in one of my last videos, I mentioned different ways to collect nutrients from other types of flours. Well, this one I am doing a little bit on whole wheat. Hey, today's is a whole wheat sourdough, or French term pain au lait. If that is not correct, I apologize in pronunciation. But anyway, small information on the difference between basic bread flour and whole wheat is whole wheat is obviously made from the entire wheat kernel. However, bread flour itself is made of just the endosperm, which is around like 84% of the actual wheat itself. And the bran and germ are just separated before the grinding process. However, when you're making whole wheat, this separation process is kind of annulled all in general. And it's just ground as is. Benefit with having whole wheat as opposed to bread flour itself is the whole wheat has more fiber and has more beneficial concepts as opposed to the bread flour itself. However, for storage concept, because there's oil and stuff like that that goes rancid very fast, you only get a good month or so of storage in the whole wheat before it starts to kind of go. As opposed to the bread flour being with none of those oils that are found commonly in the bran and germ, it does not go bad as fast. So, anyway, with that mentioned, and the recipe I did was pretty much a 206% of the baker's percentage. So for the bread flour, it is 70% of the natural, like 100%, and the whole wheat flour is 25%, and with that equaling up to 100% of your bread flour. Your water is 67%, and your sourdough starter, which is your main leavening component in this, as I mentioned before in one of my earlier videos, was that the sourdough, the sole leavening agent is the natural yeast found in the air that enters into your sourdough starter. So that's 36.9%. And then your salt content is 2.1%. So, recipe I made it so I could get 2 bowls out of them. The bowls themselves will equal out to 750 grams, or 1 pound 10 ounces. And they are water 488 grams, bread flour 546 grams, whole wheat flour 182 grams, starter 269 grams, and salt is 15 grams, equaling out to around 1,500 head. So, with that mentioned, and the process is pretty much the same as most of my other breads. As you mix the water, flour, and pre-ferment, and in your mixer, if you're using that, or if you're doing it by hand, and all just till it's homogeneous, one mass, has all that stuff. Which for the mixer, it should take about a minute hit or so. Oh, then let it rest for about 15 minutes. Then mix it for another, like, minute and a half, 2 minutes. Once that's done, you add in your salt and mix that for about 30 minutes. If you're doing it on the mixer, up until now, you're doing it on first speed. And once the salt is in for about half a minute, you change it to second speed and do that for another good minute hit or so. If you're doing this by hand, which I would advise not because this dough is kind of very sticky and stuff, you are doing this until you're reaching an improved stage, which is pretty much just a process of taking a chunk of the dough with bread flour on your hands and on it, and slowly opening it up with light over it and seeing not a complete translucency, a few spots here and there, and that would be an improved stage of gluten structure. So, with that said, I had done this and let it bulk ferment for about 2 hours, folding it within the first, and here we are. So, as I mentioned before, I did enough so I should get 2 complete loaves out of it, but I am still going to weigh it out to 750 grams the first set, and the rest will be what's left. So let's just get this done with the electrical scale. Okay, 735. Okay, that's about 750. The joy of doing it by gram is you're not concerned if it's that, like, a few grams or so off. Now, the way you're gonna fold the sourdough and work into a bowl is gonna be a little complicated. Because sourdough tends to be on a little more of a sticky side and more damp. So I am working the dough, folding it in. And now pulling him to get a nice bottom to him. Him dropping all the folds in, keeping him on. So here's your bowl when he's done. And let's just put him off to the side while I work on the next one. And honestly, don't be concerned if you can't really get this in the beginning. Because sourdough, it's really just one of those, you gotta keep trying in order to get it right. Right, so, the more you work it, the more you understand how the dough feels and how it will affect when you succeed. So go hit this one. No. This one, though, even though he is technically a sourdough, does not sit overnight. Okay, there we go. So, we got our bowls done. And they will sit for about 2 hours, or depending on the environment, and it may be a little less, but to actually know if it's ready or not, you will have to dampen your finger and poke it, hit ever so slightly. If it recedes back completely, it's not done yet. It needs to firm up. If it goes halfway back, you're good. You're ready. You can throw him in a 475 degree oven for about 45 minutes. And have at it. But if it goes all the way in and stuff, you over fermented it. So it's gonna have a little more of a yeasty taste once all is said and done. And unless you're serving people that know the taste of over fermented bread or not, you're not really gonna taste it as easily. But it's not exactly a desirable taste if you have it. So, with that said, and I will cover these and let them ferment on a metal pan, and for about 2 hours. So, yeah. Same thing as always when you're baking it. For a nice crisper crust, throw a pan in beforehand and let him ferment, not ferment, and heat up. And once you're ready for the bread to go in and stuff, throw a couple of ice cubes in for about 3 minutes. Once that's done, have it sit, like pull it out and stuff, and continue on as with 45 minutes. And what I just did right here was coat the bottoms with some flour, just to avoid it from sticking as much, because whenever I make sourdough, I'm constantly having problems with it sticking, and I'm still trying to find that perfect work to adjust it. So, fingers crossed it works. If it doesn't, get another learning experience. And, well, anyway, hey, that's about it. So, if you found this video helpful, give a like in the comment. If there was something that went wrong, put it in the comment section, and I'll try and answer you as best as I can, and kind of guide you in the right direction. But again, as I stated with this is one of those that you need to just try a bunch of times in order to get it right. Alright, well, anyway, thank you.